Good morning and welcome to another Tuesday tour. John Sauter and April Holider behind the camera from your Purdue Alumni Association, and we're going to start making our way towards the Union under the beautiful Gateway Arch. Gateway Arch is only a year old, but we're going to talk today about a Purdue tradition, and that's the PMU Christmas tree and the process involved with getting it into the Union. Many of you are familiar with that, having been here for years. Actually, this tradition started back in 1930 or so it's been going on many years, but it's become quite sophisticated, we can tell you, because as April will pan and see, the tree was cut down earlier today, and it's going to be pulled through the front door with a group of guys. A lot of effort, a lot of coordination takes place. And so that's what we'll be talking about today as we talk about PSUB, the Purdue Student Union Board, and their involvement with doing the Purdue Christmas tree and getting it in inside the building. And so this big tree is going to be going inside, if you can imagine that. Actually, I can tell you, early this morning, today, in fact, as you're watching this, we're in finals week. Commencement is this coming Sunday. And so this tree actually came in about 9 days ago. It's due to stay here for about another 9. They only allow it to stay about 18 days or so. They have to follow the tree and its brittleness and all that sort of thing. So if you get a chance, you need to get here and see it. But early this morning, about 8:30, Michael Fairchild, our videographer, and I were out at the home of David Bergman, where they actually cut the tree down. This tree, they actually planted July the 4th, 1998, for David's 50th birthday as a celebration. And don't you know, 20-some years later, it's a little bit too big for them. It's kind of encroaching on their driveway. And so this morning, Michael and I were out there. I can tell you it was 6 trucks and over a dozen people involved with getting the tree cut down and transported. And we'll be looking at the film, if you're not seeing it already, of getting that tree to this particular location. Again, this tradition has been going on since the 30s. Originally, they actually had to go to Wisconsin and buy a tree and actually have it shipped. But starting in the 70s or so, it kind of became a competition. And so local people actually submit their trees. This year they had 4 trees in competition. They tell me they've had as many as a dozen trees in competition, trying to make them the perfect tree. But this one, it's about a 21-year-old tree. It's about 35 feet. It's a blue spruce, gorgeous tree that's going to make a wonderful addition inside the Union. We're going to zip in there in just a second and show the process of pulling it in, getting it in the stand, and all that sort of thing. And again, through time-lapse photography, you're going to be able to see this much quicker than the process that it's taken. So they're attaching the ropes. They'll be getting it in position quickly, pull through that small opening there in the doorway. I understand you can hear the doors creak, and you can start to hear some of the limbs maybe kind of crack a little bit, as it's quite a process to get it through. This tree is so big. A little bit about the tree. It actually consumes 5 gallons of water 3 times a day. They have to water the tree. And then they have a fire protection person come in and actually check the tree every morning just to make sure it's still being okay. But it's a great tradition for Purdue. Hopefully you've had your picture taken here at one point or other. And so as they're getting it attached, April and I are now going to make our way inside the Great Hall so you can see it coming into the building. Okay, we're back, and excitement is building here in the Great Hall. Folks are all around on the 2nd floor balcony downstairs. April's halfway up on a ladder just to be able to catch the perspective here. But the tree is starting to come in. And I just counted, I think there are 25 workers on this rope pulling the tree into the building. And you can see the challenge they have. First are the outside, then the interior doors, pulling through a very small opening. And so I'm told that the doors may creak a little bit, and we may hear the crack of a few limbs or so being broken on the tree. But that's what it takes to get the tree in. From the time that you saw the earlier video, they actually took the tree down to physical plant facilities, and they actually spray a fire retardant on the tree, and then they clean out the tree in case there's any broken limbs or leaves. Squirrels. April always likes to know that, make sure we don't have any squirrels in peril as they bring the tree into the building. And so once that's all done, then they start pulling it in. Obviously, safety is a big factor. We saw that this morning in the earlier video as they got the tree coming in and attached to be cut down. and now they're going to bring it in and inspect it. You see just off to the right just a little bit the 7-foot gingerbread house. That's all part of the decorations these days in the Great Hall. They kind of spruce that up every morning to make sure it's still looking sharp. And the other thing that'll start taking place tomorrow, as they start decorating the tree, we'll have different musical groups coming in, and they'll start performing. And it's Purdue musical groups, it's local elementary schools that will be coming in and performing around the tree, really bringing the festive spirit into the building. Okay, now we're back, and the efforts continue to get the tree in. Again, we have 25 workers in unison. Oh, and it just made it through. Just made it through. You just saw the tree arrive in the Great Hall. Oh, an amazing process. Huge, huge tree coming into the Great Hall. Excellent. Excellent. Lots of cameras and flashes going off here, we can tell you. Hey, big cheer. Everybody sees it. Okay, the next step will be the hoisting of the tree, erecting the tree and getting it put in a huge stand they have for the tree. After that comes decorating. So we'll be showing some video, time-lapse, of the hoisting process, but we'll be back with you once the tree is fully decorated. So we'll see you then. Michael saw this and thought it was such a good thing to add that we wanted to make sure you saw this entire process, but not over the hour and a half or so that it actually took. Okay, we're back, and we are in front of the fully decorated tree. It's 2 days later now. This is all part of PSUB's effort to bring Christmas into the Union Building, into campus. And the smell of the evergreen, there's a piano player who we've asked to kind of take a break. But musical groups are available all the time with this huge tree. And in fact, we might even pan over and see the little ones who are enjoying the gingerbread house. That's down here on the first floor, as well as 4 other gingerbread houses. They have kind of a competition in the food service with gingerbread houses and different themes and all that sort of thing. Bruce Halmesser, the chef who's here, just does a wonderful job of putting this together and updating it every morning, that sort of thing. And we can tell you the gingerbread house as well as the tree are really all part of PSUB's operation. PSUB, the traditional group that brings life into the Union Building. And they've been doing this since actually before the Union Building opened in 1824. They've been going on almost 100 years or so with a variety of events. Some of the traditions have lived on. The tree is one that started in the 1930s and lives to this day. And they actually have a contest going on now to guess the number of ornaments. And I asked the students running it to give us a hint. And they say it's somewhere between 0 and 2,000 lights. So you'll feel free to make your guess on what might be there. PSUB is a group that has a lot of activities taking place. In fact, Saturday of this week is Breakfast with Santa, and people come early for that. April, are you bringing the kids in for that one?
Oh yeah, that's our tradition.
All right. A lot of folks line up early and come in to see Santa as a part of all the things that are going on with PSUB here. PSUB, again, is the group that brings all this to life. One of the highly more organized and recognized student organizations on campus. And the PSUB presidents have gone on to do lots of things. I can tell you that Bob and Mary Feldmauer in our Southeast Michigan Club are instrumental in keeping loyalty alive in the Ann Arbor area. And there's John Simpson, who currently serves on our board. There's Jack Calhoun, who was formerly the president of Banana Republic, and Sue Hess, who went on to make a career for herself at Procter & Gamble. The Purdue Student Union Board really does lots of these things in terms of keeping activities going on and the tree going on and all those sorts of things. And as we close, I just want to tell you how very impressed April and I both are with the army of people involved with making this happen. So it starts with the David Berenda family and donating their tree. And then there's a small group of folks that go out from physical plant with hoists and chainsaws and get the tree pulled in. And then it's 25 people, as you saw, pulling that tree actually into the building. And then it's hundreds of folks who, from P-Sub, decorating the tree. That's happened over the last few days or so. And then it's going to be the thousands of folks who come in to look at the tree, who are a part of the musical part of the operation. Local groups, PMO groups will be here every day around noontime or so. And the thousands of people perhaps enjoying our video as we talk about all this. So it really all kind of brings us to a great feeling we have about Purdue and all the things that really go on within the university, and just makes us proud to be Boilermakers that we can keep these traditions going. So on behalf of April, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Hail Purdue.